The team I'm playing in my friends league's name is Extra Chroma Homes. What makes you okay?
That should be in the podcast.
This is my cold open, by the way. What makes you more upset? The fact that Ozzy's football team that he doesn't care about is better than your team in the division, or the fact that Ozzy's fantasy football team that he doesn't care about beat your fantasy team by less than a point?
Oh, God. I don't know. They're both equally frustrating for sure. And he just side-eyes me. Yeah.
Welcome to the house, episode 7. If you need homeless or at-risk youth services, you can take it to my house, 300 North Willow Street in downtown Wasilla. I'm Isaac Smolden, and I'm joined by Brian Fields. Brian.
Hello.
Yeah, we're going to do a Baseball for Dummies episode that we're going to push to next week. Because I want Brian to just watch a Mariners game, write down all his questions, and then I'll have watched the same game, and I can, and then I'll be able to answer them all. And it'll be a nice, beginner's intro to baseball. But 2, the Mariners had the bases loaded with no outs yesterday. The count is 3-0. Now, Brian, we'll get into the baseball for beginners thing a little bit right here. 3-0. That means that there's 3 balls and 0 strikes. So one more ball is a walk. You get on base, right?
Yeah.
And if the bases are loaded, that means a run scores.
Right.
Because the run goes to first, everyone goes around, right?
I got you.
0 means 0 strikes. So you'd have to get 3 strikes to strike out, right?
Right.
There's 2 outs, so the inning's almost over. So, okay, so you got that.
Yeah.
Why would you steal home, Brian? Why would you try to steal home plate where there's a catcher when one more ball in the next 3 pitches could just get you a run?
Don't you have a third base coach?
Indeed you do, Brian. It begs the question, Victor Robles, why would you do that?
Did he send him?
I have no idea what happened. I think Victor Robles just decided he could steal home, and people do steal home. But nope, got thrown out.
Wouldn't you steal home off of a foul? No, because you can't run on a foul, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
No, don't, Brian, don't try to find answers for it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's the bit. Mm-hmm. The bit is that it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anyways. I can't talk about the Mariners this week, so we're going to push that till next week.
Okay.
But this week's football season was crazy.
Yeah. Some crazy games.
Not just because my fantasy team lost by 0.18 points.
Yeah, that's insane.
I guess we'll end with that.
Yeah. Let's start with the 0-2 teams.
Okay, I like this.
There's a lot of 0-2 teams that should not be.
The Ravens.
Mm-hmm. 0-2. Lost to the Raiders. It just a gritty. John Harbaugh looks cooked.
That game did not make sense. I thought the Raiders were. How much time was left? And I didn't even notice that the Raiders.
The Raiders were down by 10 with 12 minutes left in the fourth.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can understand losing to the Chiefs, but yeah, the Raiders should be an 0-2 team that we're talking about.
They honestly should be. And they played the offense again showed up absolute garbage in the first half. I don't know though, but this team has got grit, and I can see them sneaking some wins like this where a team kind of thinks they're whatever and kind of sits back. But the thing with the Ravens though that just is so bizarre is you have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and you're dropping back 34 times.
Hand the ball, not just because he's on 2 of my fantasy teams.
Yeah,
please hand the ball to Derrick Henry.
And the Raiders have been struggling against the run too. That also doesn't make sense. It's they want to prove that Lamar Jackson can throw the ball.
Now they are playing the Cowboys this week. And that is another team that you look at and struggling. You're they're not 0-2, but they're having some problems.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara went off for 4 touchdowns. He was in. I actually started the guy that got.
What do you think about the Saints?
The Saints as a 2-0 team? I don't know. Do we want to get into the?
No, we'll go through the rest of the 0-2.
I have a lot to say about the Saints.
Okay. The Bengals are another 0-2 team. So out of all,
and they almost beat the Chiefs. They looked terrible against the Patriots, and then I thought they were going to beat the Chiefs.
They were literally 2 calls away from beating the Chiefs. If Jamar Chase doesn't throw his little tantrum.
What are you doing, dude?
He's mad, dude. He's mad. He's mad. He had like 5 catches for like 37 yards. He's mad. He's mad because he didn't get a contract. He's mad because he's not getting used. He doesn't look like he even wants to be there.
No.
And
he looks like new wave Antonio Brown.
And that's what scares me for the Bengals. Like, I think the Bengals could figure it out, but what scares me is like it seems like the ship's a little rocky over there.
They got some stuff to figure out. The Rams are an 0-2 team.
Right.
And it makes me
this
so
is
happy.
where you clip my take where I said, Sean McVay, you're cooked. You're cooked, bud. It's over.
What if they win like the next 7 in a row and then I just clip that take?
That would be not awesome.
It'd be funny.
It'd be funny.
But yeah, okay. So the first
cooked,
game they lost.
Dude.
Well,
they're cooked.
well,
no.
the first game they lost.
Puka's on IR.
That is unfortunate.
Cooper Kupp is going on IR.
That is unfortunate for you.
They don't have an offensive line. Like, Arizona has the worst pass rush in the league, and Matt Stafford was in duress all game long.
Marvin Harrison Jr. was on my bench. I did it again.
No, you did not.
Oops, I did it again.
Oh!
I won the game anyway on the team that he was on, but like I beat Julia by like 50 points. I didn't need sucks winner first overall pick goes on IR with CMC, but oh well. Yeah. Oh well, he got 1.4 points the week before. He's in my roster this week. I think they figured it out. They figured it out. Like, hey, maybe we should throw the ball to. Well, not only
maybe we should throw the ball to him, maybe we should move him around.
Yeah,
instead of just putting him in the same.
Yeah, it makes it easier to target him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they moved him around a lot. He looked really good.
Yeah, but the Rams.
But who looked even better was Kyler Murray. Looked phenomenal.
Yep. Cardinals are scary. Rams might be the bottom feeder.
Rams are the bottom feeder.
Is there any other 0-2 teams that you're surprised about? Because I can just rattle off the ones that I'm not surprised about. Really, the two ones in the AFC that I'm surprised about are in the same division,
right?
Which is interesting.
Yeah, Houston's sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
The one that I'm not surprised about, but I think is interesting to talk about just because of the recent news, is the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, jeez.
The
Red Rifle is back, baby.
What makes me super happy about this is they're calling it the biggest draft bust over. Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Jamarcus Russell.
I knew that was coming.
We're done, dude. I don't have to hear it anymore. It's over. Oh.
Well, what makes it even better is that they passed on Caleb Williams, too, who still hasn't thrown a touchdown.
They passed on C.J. Stroud.
They passed on C.J. Stroud. Oh, right. So they passed on C.J. Stroud, but then also because they were so bad, they then lost out on the chance for Caleb Williams because they traded away their first round pick that would have been Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Who still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass.
Looks a little rocky.
But
one thing about Caleb Williams is he improved the very next week.
Yes. He looked much better on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and with Bryce Young, like, you haven't seen that. And there's been times like where he is a small man. He's a very small man to be playing quarterback. You're trying to throw over 6'6", 6'7", 350-pound large men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he's just having a super hard time out there, and I feel bad for him. He looks like just super defeated.
He got put in a really bad situation. I feel like he's the type of quarterback that is like finishes the season on the bench.
Yeah.
Moves on to another team, like the Panthers give up on him as a backup for a couple years, and then someone gets injured, and all of a sudden Bryce Young just has this resurgence.
Right.
Because he has like the technical skill, but he just has. I'd have zero confidence either if I got thrown in to try to play quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Other 0-2 teams.
Denver.
The Broncos, not surprised. Well,
Bo Nix is not the fix.
More like Bo Picks.
Yeah. Did you see that press conference where they're like, can you explain that interception in the end zone? He said, yeah, I snapped the ball, I dropped back, and I threw it to the other team.
I guess I should be surprised because I did say that the Broncos were going to be. I did not call them a playoff team, but I did say I think I picked them 2 in the division.
Yeah. Yep. Did that.
Man, it's not that I thought Sean Payton was a great coach, but holy cow, should he have stayed retired?
Yeah.
This team looks terrible. Terrible.
Really bad.
And the team that I thought was going to be the bottom feeder is 2-0 in the division right now.
Yeah.
And that's Aussie's Los Angeles Chargers. We want to talk about also the Jags and the Titans are 0-2 and no one's
Colts.
surprised.
But so what's crazy
the Colts,
about that, they're all in the same division.
Yeah.
And so
okay,
so Houston's sitting pretty looking at their whole division starting 0-2.
The Colts,
I'm surprised that the Colts and Jags aren't
I think
1-1.
Well, the Jags.
They look really bad. Trevor Lawrence had like 19 yards in the first half.
The Jags look terrible.
Yeah, they look really bad.
It's scary. I mean, the Colts have lost by a combined 8 points over 2 games. I think that they're not going to be like a bottom feeder or anything. Yeah. But the Texans are definitely starting to look like the only team that's going to come out of the AFC South.
Yeah,
for sure.
I thought there would be 2 teams. I thought Jacksonville would make some noise, and
I picked them too.
I mean, they still could, but I don't know. I mean, Trevor Lawrence just doesn't look like the guy. You know?
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a serviceable quarterback, but I don't know that he'll ever be that guy that gets you over the hump.
Biggest surprise for the 2-0 teams.
So LA Chargers.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. I agree.
Granted, right? They had a really soft open to their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be interesting to see. Like, I'm glad like the Raiders are now like out of their open schedule, which was really ridiculous. Like travel to a division rival week 1 and then travel to freaking Baltimore week 2.
Yeah. You went 1-1 in that stretch.
Yeah,
so that's a win.
Which is crazy. But yeah, screw you, NFL. And so like
Jim Harbaugh,
coming
in
he's playing the style of game that we all knew he was going to play. He's running the ball, he's controlling the ball, he's being gritty on defense. If they can continue that, there's a really good shot that they, make the playoffs.
Which would be crazy.
I think it's going to come to a head when they start playing some real contenders here.
Yeah, I'm not ready to call them a playoff team yet. The Steelers are 2-0, and that is a huge shock to me.
With Mr. Unlimited sitting on the bench.
Well, in full pads though. Even though he's injured,
every time.
Did you see that thing where it was like they're telling Russell, hey, Russell, we're going to get on the plane, wear something comfortable. He's like, got it, coach. And then it's just him in the full pads in week 1. Did I use that joke last week?
No.
I might have used that joke last week. Anyway, to be fair, the Steelers beat the Broncos this week, which is not impressive.
And they beat Atlanta week 1. So I mean, Atlanta. I mean, Kirk Cousin had one good drive. Like, let's not kid ourselves.
One good drive.
Yeah, that lost me the game. That lost me the game as well, which is why I now hate the Eagles. Now I hate the Eagles.
Yeah, no. Eagles, you're on my crap list.
Yeah, for sure.
The Seattle Seahawks are 2-0.
They sure are.
Not a big deal.
Hold on though. Let's pump the brakes right there. You still almost lost to the Patriots.
Right. So here's the thing about that. The longest travel that you can do in the NFL in the United States of America.
Oh, here we go. That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing?
Well, you talking about the Raiders travel. The Seahawks
we had back-to-back away games.
I'm not saying that you'd like to beat the Patriots by 3 points in overtime, but at the end of the season, that is a win. It counts exactly the same as any other win.
Yeah. The Patriots
don't
making me mad, dude.
They don't look as bad as we thought they were going to look.
I'm like furious. Can't you just be garbage? Can't you just suck for a while?
The Patriots look like a much better team than anyone gave them credit for, including me. Their defense is not terrible. Their defense is doing a great job, and their run game is pretty decent. And they're just keeping games close. Now, the Seahawks would have lost that game if they did not. Well, they had more time on the clock. Mm-hmm. but there is a very real possibility they lose that game if they don't block that field goal with like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
So shout out to special teams. We love when special teams does cool stuff. And hey, even though you're like, they almost lost to the Patriots got the ball first in overtime, and the defense showed up, forced a 3-and-out, and then the offense got it done. DK, I took off my bench and put back into my lineup because I trust DK. Went off. Jackson Smith-Njigba was on my bench and put up like 22 points or something nuts like that.
I bet you he comes out this week with 3 catches.
Smith-Njigba or DK?
No, DK.
Oh, he's playing against Jalen Ramsey. Maybe I should put Jackson Smith-Njigba in my lineup instead.
No, you shouldn't.
No?
No.
They're
trying to get him the ball, but I just don't. And didn't Tyler Lockett get hurt?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a bad.
Stonks up on both those guys.
But don't do a fan roster move.
I love a fan roster move.
That's terrible.
The Vikings are 2-0, and that's shocking.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It's shocking when your quarterback that you're expecting to your rookie quarterback that you're
and
expecting
not only are they 2-0, they just beat
the Niners.
49ers.
The Christian McCaffrey-less 49ers, to be fair.
Still.
It's still impressive.
What are the Niners known for?
Winning football games?
No, they're known for their defense.
Yeah. No, Sam Howell looked real good.
So, like, I mean, I get it. And, like, they have a serviceable running back right now. It's not like they're not getting yards on the ground either.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, I mean, that was – I think Sam Darnold is just – I think he is who people thought he was coming out of college. I think he got put in a bad situation. I think the way that we put quarterbacks in right away is not good for them.
See, but he is what I think Bryce Young will – end up being in 5 years. Like Sam Howell is, I think, the template for Bryce Young.
So the thing about Bryce, the difference with Bryce Young though is like there was flashes for Sam Darnold. Like in Carolina.
Did I say Sam Howell?
Yeah, you did. You sure did.
Whoops. I said Sam Howell like 3 times. Yeah, Sam Darnold, sorry.
There was flashes for him. With Bryce Young, there hasn't been any flashes that he's going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he's just looked gross.
Sure.
You know, and so I don't know. I think he's going to be out of the league. I don't even know that people will want to put him in as a backup.
It's a possibility.
I'm really upset, though, because we play Carolina this week, and now they're making a change up on us. And I'm like, I was really looking
Can you imagine if you lose to Andy Dalton in the year of our Lord 2024? That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Okay, last 2-0 team. First of all, there's no 2-0 team in the NFC East.
Yeah.
And that's your fault, Eagles.
Yeah, good
That
job.
should be you.
That should be
The NFC South has 2-0 teams, and we thought, well, this division still could suck. It's week 2.
You forgot the Texans.
Oh, I forgot that. Well, we kind of talked about the Texans.
Yeah,
They're 2-0.
They are 2-0.
They're good. The Saints and the Bucks are both 2-0, and I have more to say about the Saints. So with the Bucks, Baker Mayfield is him.
Yeah.
Cleveland, you are so dumb, and you deserve everything that is coming your way.
But they won.
Baker Mayfield, turns out when his arm's healthy, he's right back to doing exactly what he did in Cleveland when they were a playoff contender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And the Bucks.
And they have a pretty easy division.
100%.
Other than the Saints, right?
100%. I think the Bucks are a playoff team. What I did not expect, and I picked the Bucks to win this division, what I did not expect is that the Saints, again, it's week 2, but based off of how they've played in the last 2 weeks, they look like they could be a playoff team. I mean, they just dismantled the Cowboys.
What will be interesting is going to be to see that game versus the Saints and see who kind of steps up in that. I don't know though. Like
Derek Carr looks really good.
Yeah, I said that too.
Yeah,
that was my prediction. Remember that?
And man, it'd sure be nice if the Raiders had a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been missing Derek Carr. I think he got a lot of hate for bad organization structure.
Both these quarterbacks are on their revenge tour.
Yeah,
Baker and Derek
and
Carr.
we play the Saints this year. Yeah,
that's not good.
No,
that's very bad.
Very bad.
Very, very bad.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
But the question
to see
will
who
be
steps up.
the question will be, can Derek Carr stay healthy?
Yeah, true enough. But I think he has better pieces around him, and their O-line seems to be holding up well.
I don't know. It looks like if you watch like a lot of the game, right? Like, which I couldn't do because the NFL decided to bless us with 10 freaking games in the morning window.
Yeah, we were at a wedding, and one of my friends had Red Zone, so it was the best time in the world to be watching football not at home that week because I watched every single game.
Yeah, I did not because I don't know why I don't know who did that. Who decided it was a good idea to?
Is that abnormal? Because that was crazy.
Yeah, that's 10 games.
It was nuts.
10 games in the open.
It was kind of awesome though, because I had Red Zone.
Yeah, well, I have Red Zone too, but
This
I'm
is
not
not a sponsorship for Red Zone.
I'm not gonna push over to Red Zone to not watch the Raider game.
Monitor, baby.
No, I hate that. I don't like it.
Well,
I'm not a fan.
Anyway.
But anyways, but there was a couple times where like you could see like Carr looks more comfortable in the offense, and he's kind of sticking in the pocket a little bit more. Where last year he was very timid in the pocket, and if anybody like started to break that offensive line, he was, And this year he's kind of stepping into that pressure. So I don't know that the offensive line has got better. I just think Derek Carr has got more comfortable, and I'm concerned about his ability to stay healthy for the rest of the year.
We will see. This week is another week, and I'm sure we'll cover anything major that happens in our teams, and then we'll talk about baseball for beginners. So, which Mariners game do we need to have you watch this week?
I don't know, because I don't even have a streaming service for baseball.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, so that's a problem.
Well, let's see. Don't listen to this, Roger. Friday, the Mariners play at 4:05 p.m. So we might just throw that on.
Okay.
Might have another work late session here till 8 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Or they play at 12:10 tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow other than working? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Go Raiders.
Yeah, go.
Eagles, we hate you. How are you doing in fantasy?
All three of my teams are 1-1.
I'm 0-2 in one of my leagues.
That sucks.
So I feel I resonate with the 0-2 teams.
My team scored the second most points of any team in our 8-team league and lost by 1 point or 0.18 points.
Yeah, that's what happened to me in the first week. So it's gonna be a long year, dude. This year it looks weird. Like this whole year looks weird. But I think what's happened is I think that you always see this when they put a bunch of defensive rules in.
Yeah,
the defenses kind of struggle for a little bit, and it looks like the defenses have adapted and adjusted. A lot of teams are running man defense. So I just think like fantasy, it's going to be harder and harder to predict fantasy.
I am not happy. Yeah. Not happy, Bob.
No.
Not happy.
Jamar Chase, get it together.
Get it together. Even when we're rooting against each other, sports unite us all. We'll see you next week. To the house.
Bye-bye.